Life short, smoke a port on a port, in New York, calculating like a York. Kill Bill, track suit, Supreme shorts. Life short.
Guys, YoungHalfington here, back to another video, and today we are doing a tutorial on a very new artist. Don't hate me if I get his name wrong. It's either Iann Dior or Iann Dior. If I got his name wrong, I apologize. I really only found out about him kind of like a week ago. We are covering his song Emotions, and let's just be real, this guy is pretty much a Juice WRLD and Lil Skies mixed together. But in my opinion, it really doesn't matter, because if someone makes good music, they just make good music, and I really like his songs, Emotions. So that's the one that we're going to be covering today. So before we get into that, make sure to hit that like button to show the support, and also subscribe if you haven't already to join the Half Gang, and follow me on social media at YoungHalfington. I'm mainly active on Instagram, so that's probably the main one that you do want to follow me on out of all of them. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into FL Studio real quick. Okay, so as you guys can see, we are on FL Studio right now. We got the instrumental up top, and then we have the 4 tracks that I recorded. He basically uses a lot of dubbing and harmonizing. These effects are pretty much going to be all the same. The only difference is this one background vocal here on track 4. It has kind of like a radio equalizer effect on it. But let's go ahead and show you guys the full final product before we dive deep into what's going on here.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore, I'm feeling hopeless. In my head, she said it's all in my head, but it's not, think I'd rather be dead. Can't forget what you did.
I gotta say, man, Ian, that was a catchy ass chorus, dude. Like, this hook is so damn catchy, and like I said, it's like a Lil Skies and Juice WRLD mix. A lot of people are saying that he's an industry plant, and let's just be real, industry plants are popping everywhere now, and there's nothing we could do about it. We just gotta enjoy the music. That's how the industry is. It's whatever. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this mixer. I'm gonna mute the rest of these background tracks, because all of these 3 right here are exactly the same. I didn't change anything when it came to them, so I'm just gonna focus mainly on what I did for this, and you guys can get these other 2 down here. So right here, let's go ahead and mute the effects real quick. So he uses a lot of ambient sounds. He likes reverb, and he uses the chorus, and that's basically it when it comes to him. He basically uses the reverb in the chorus and then dubs his vocals. That's basically this man's sound. So I'm gonna show you guys what that sounded like without any of the effects.
She said,
let me mute this too. Okay.
she said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore, I'm feeling hopeless.
So that's what you would get when you just do your bare vocal recording without any of the effects on it. As you guys could hear, it needs a little bit of pitch correction. So the first thing we're going to do is open up our Autotune program. And I set that rate to speed at that default 20, because you don't really want to have that really robotic Autotune effect. You just kind of want it to put your vocals on key to sound as natural as possible. So with that, I put the format on, and I turned that humanized knob up to 25 to help correct and hide that Autotune sound as much as possible. And I put my input type to alto/tenor, because that's my vocal type. And the key to this song, of course, is F sharp minor. So with that, you get this.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore, I'm feeling hopeless.
So as you guys could hear, very slight Autotune sound just helps put your vocals on the right key, which is what you want. So we're good with that. Up next, we got the parametric EQ. Based on what I heard with my ear, he cuts out some bass, so I went ahead and right-clicked band 1 with the type, set it to high pass, and then steep 6. I found that steep 6 was better than steep 8, because steep 8 is like a for real roll-off cut. So I found that steep 6 was good for cutting out that bass, and I moved it to about 105 hertz. Added some treble with band 7. at about 1600. 6 at about 5000. What's up, Dad? You guys are gonna see my dad in the background of this video probably. And then I went ahead and did some frequency sweeps with the knob with the bands 3 through 4. Found out the bad frequencies, cut them out down here, and that's pretty much it for the EQ. So next you want the Maximus. I don't really use the Maximus unless I'm trying to use it as a de-esser. For those of you guys that don't know what a de-esser is, it gets rid of those S sounds, basically those hissing sounds. So if you hear S in your recording, it'll do its best to control that. So when you open up Maximus, you go up and, over here to presets and click de-esser narrowband, and that's a de-esser that I mainly use in FL Studio, and it works perfectly fine. And so far you get this sound.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain any.
So far so good. We're on the right track. And then of course you're always gonna want to add a compressor or a limiter. I prefer the compressor, but that's just because I feel like I know how to use it way better than a limiter. I find limiters kind of more best for like those rapping songs, like for Ski Master Slump God, to keep your your pronunciations and the way you deliver more equal, so some's not like a lot louder than the others, so you could cut it down and make it an equal sound. But I'm a melodic artist myself, and with these melodic artists I like to use the compressor way more. So going back to the melodic artists, I always like to use the ratio at 8:1. I find that this ratio works best for any melodic sound, so that's why I always do it. You'll see it in a lot of my tutorials. So I put the ratio there, I put the type to vintage, and then when you have the ratio that high up and you do a threshold cut to about like -30 or even higher, it lowers the gain of the vocals, so you're gonna have to make that up by raising the gain. So I put this to 12.9 decibel gain, and then I lowered that attack to about 10.5, and you get this sound.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore. I'm feeling hopeless.
And that's basically what you'll get with that sound. So far so good. Up next we got the sound goodizer. For you guys that don't know what the sound goodizer does, it basically excites the vocals, it gives it more life, and I found that it works best at A. So I'll show you what it sounds like with and without the sound guys. So this is going to be without it.
She said I drove her away with my emotions.
And this is it with the sound goodizer.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain and...
Okay, so as you can see, it excited a little bit. So that's exactly what we want. Then we're going to add the chorus. I found that the preset 50D tune, if you just use this arrow and scroll down, let me see, where is it? Right here. 50D tune worked best for this track, and it's gonna sound like this. I have it, what would that be? Maybe between 10 and 11 o'clock on the dial here for the sub bus. Then we're gonna go ahead and press play and show you what this sounds like.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore. I'm feeling hope.
So as you guys could hear, it kind of doubles the vocals in a way. Each preset kind of has a different doubling sound for the chorus, but I found that 50D tune worked best for this track. So, and last but not least, we're gonna turn on the reverb, because you always need reverb on your tracks. And the venue preset was the way to go. So if you go down here and scroll down, you find venue. That's the one you want to use. It's a very, very, very ambient sound, and I put it a little bit more than halfway, about 1 o'clock. So you get this.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore. I'm feeling hopeless. In my head, she said it's all in my head.
And that's basically it. That's the primary thing. Once you get all this done, you're pretty much about there. So, what I meant about doubling. So, if you notice here, I'll go ahead and mute that first track. There are specific parts of the songs where he took another recording track and just sang the same lyrics over it to give it a more emphasis effect. So, I'm going to show you what I mean here.
I drove her away. Can't take the pain. I'm feeling hopeless. She said it's all in my head.
So what I noticed about that, that's something that I never really paid attention to before, or really have seen in another artist. Usually if they're gonna double, they'll just sing like through the whole original chorus or track. But I found this very, very interesting because as you guys could hear, certain parts were cut out. He chose certain sections to double, which I thought was really, really cool. So that's basically what I meant in terms of his doubling. That's the way that he does it. And then like here, this is when he just repeats.
It's all in my head. Be dead.
So if you unmute this track, you'll hear what I mean. He just repeats himself after his like long.
It's all in my head, but it's not. Think I'd rather be dead. Can't forget what you did.
So it's just another form of delay, but this way was better. I'm pretty sure this was the way he did it, because if you have delay, you don't want it to go out through the entire chorus if it's not meant to be there. So he just decided to repeat himself after that part of the chorus, and that's basically it. So let's go to this last part. This is just simple background vocals that went along with the chorus that he decided to sing himself, and added a more radio effect to it.
I drove her away. I can't take this pain.
So pretty much when it comes to that, it's the same exact effects as before. The only difference is that he went ahead here and scrolled down his preset list until he found radio. You could also use old telephone. Old telephone and radio aren't that different. I just thought radio was a lot better. And yeah, he actually, because background vocals aren't really that important if you're using the radio effect, because the radio and old telephone effect does the mixing for itself. So that's why you don't see a compressor or none of that here. All I did was add the auto-tune to it, the sound goodizer, and the reverb. And because it's a background vocal, I had the reverb set to 100% on the sub bus and just lowered it to about halfway down the leveling table here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Iann. I don't, how do you say his last name, guys? It's Iann Dior, Iann Dior. I'm so sorry if I mess up his name. But yeah, total, you'll get this without the instrumental.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore. I'm feeling hopeless. In my head, she said it's all in my head, but it's not. Think I'd rather be dead. Can't forget what you did.
And yeah, that's basically it. It's really not that complicated. The hard part about him is making sure you get the harmonizing and voice doubling right. Because if you're off, or you're too off key and your auto-tune isn't syncing up the way it should be, it's gonna sound really, really weird. But let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section. Leave a like if you thought I did a good job, and then also let me know who else you want to see in these future tutorials. So one more time, we're gonna unmute this instrumental and we're gonna press play. So let's go.
She said I drove her away with my emotions. Can't take the pain anymore. I'm feeling hopeless. In my head, she said it's all in my head, but it's not. Think I'd rather be dead. Can't forget what you did.
It's a catchy ass song, guys. If you haven't heard it already, go ahead and give it a listen. It's called Emotions. I think Nick Mira produced this beat. Nick Mira is crazy, man. He's so good with these kind of beats. He helped Juice WRLD out too. I mean, it's crazy. It's no surprise that if he used Juice WRLD's producer or old producer, I don't know if he's still Juice WRLD's producer, you're gonna kind of get a similar sound with him. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. My name is YoungHalfington. I'll see you guys in that next upload. Peace out.